What is DeFi? It comes from the English decentralized finance. DeFi is the abbreviation of this phrase. But in fact, it is more appropriate to call it distributed finance or open finance. Because, in essence, there is no completely decentralized finance, most of which are a combination of different degrees of centralization and decentralization. However, the term DeFi has been recognized by the public and is more suitable for communication. DeFi is the second breakthrough in the history of encryption. The first breakthrough in the history of encryption was Bitcoin, which achieved value transfer without the participation of a third party through the appropriate use of cryptography, consensus mechanisms, peer-to-peer networks, and incentive mechanisms. From the current point of view, the initial stage of value storage and transfer has basically been achieved. This is the most dazzling and most successful first breakthrough in the history of encryption. And DeFi can be regarded as the second breakthrough. Although it has not yet reached the height of Bitcoin, it has begun to take shape and has the potential for growth. DeFi is different. DeFi is open finance, and it is also brought about by the infrastructure of the blockchain. Its inspiration also comes from Bitcoin. Its most important features are verifiability and transparency. Through the blockchain, people can verify every transaction that takes place on it, which also brings transparency. DeFi is a parallel world of traditional finance. Traditional finance has the advantage of intermediary and has gained the trust of many people through its services. This can meet the needs of a large number of people in the real world. In this world, there are some people who want to control financial services by themselves. This is also the key to the existence of DeFi. In order to serve these people, DeFi is building a world parallel to traditional finance. DeFi is not just a parallel world of traditional finance. DeFi is not only a mapping of traditional finance in the crypto world, it also has new features. For example, through the fund pool to achieve rapid exchange, its borrowing interest rate can be adjusted in real time, can be increased or decreased at any time. There is no borrowing period of traditional borrowing. For another example, its loan income is reflected in its tokens. If users purchase tokens, they can essentially enjoy the token loan income, which is equivalent to tokenizing debt and realizing circulation. These have greatly accelerated the liquidity of assets. The permission-free and transparency of DeFi is beyond the reach of traditional finance. Integration of DeFi and traditional finance. Currently, DeFi is the need of some people, not everyone. Not everyone has the ability and willingness to manage crypto assets. A more likely scenario is the integration of DeFi and traditional finance, each with a user group. Traditional finance can use the characteristics of DeFi to achieve liquidity, and DeFi can use traditional financial assets and compliance to achieve scale expansion. DeFi and smart contract platform. At present, most DeFi projects are based on the Ethereum public chain. The most important reason is that the construction based on the Ethereum blockchain has a certain degree of security, underlying asset value, and developer ecological support. The DeFi project is a currency Lego, and it needs to have a good foundation. Although Bitcoin has the highest market value, it cannot be as flexible as Ethereum and cannot build logically complex smart contracts. DeFi engagement and user habits. Since DeFi is license-free, this means that anyone with encrypted assets can participate in DeFi. For example, if users own assets such as DAI, USDC, ETH, etc., they can deposit encrypted assets in a DeFi project to earn interest income. These are usually completed through operations on the chain, without the participation of a third party, and users have great freedom, convenience and speed of participation. At present, through DeFi, people can implement services such as lending, trading, payment, futures, etc., but for most ordinary users who have no experience in using encrypted wallets, there is a certain threshold. It requires users to have certain asset management capabilities and experience. However, as more and more DeFi projects simplify their operating procedures and become easier to use, once people use DeFi products, the difficulty of using them will gradually decrease. Once a usage habit is formed, more and more people will enter the DeFi field. In conclusion, DeFi will be loaded into the history of encryption because it truly matches the product and the market. So far, in the history of encryption, there have been two matching products and markets, one is Bitcoin and the other is DeFi. Although DeFi is still small, according to the current development trend of its currency Lego, it not only tries to build parallel fields with traditional finance, but also tries to combine with traditional finance to achieve new characteristics. This is a very interesting area and it is worth exploring in depth.